So I'm just going to start out from this main Lone Star page, and I want to make sure especially that you know how to get to the resources that the library has to offer. So to start out with, you're going to see this link in tiny characters up here that just says libraries. And this is going to be the shared LSCS library page. And what I mean by that is all the various Lone Star campuses share this web page. And so as we scroll down, you can do a lot of searching directly from here. So there's tips on how to get started. There are links for databases based on subject material. So if you wanted to look at current issues and news or literature and so on. This is one we are really trying to point out right now because everything that's going on is how to find ebooks. These are our various ebook collections. And a lot of times it's a good idea to search multiple ones because different database publishers are going to have access to different publications. So a title may not be in one, but you might find it in another one. Then, of course, we have ways to look at various videos that we have subscriptions to. And this is how you would search the catalog here for our physical collections. This normally would cover everything at the Lone Star campuses and then Harris County Public and Montgomery County Public as well. Now, due to all the quarantine that's going on right now, many of these locations may not be fully open or may not be transferring items back and forth. So there are some restrictions currently there. And then finally, this tab here will show you how to either chat with a librarian. And again, it could be a librarian at any campus, but we're all trained to help you with research questions. So you actually have more than just what you might find here at Montgomery available to you. And then also, if you would like to contact someone at your campus library, there's a link there as well. Now, if we scroll down, you're going to see here the section is called Research Guides, and we've created a lot of content for you that's specifically for the Montgomery campus. So to access that, we're going to select LSC-Montgomery. And this page is our what we call a resource portal. This is kind of like our homepage for all of our resources here at Montgomery. So here at the top, we have a scrolling marquee that's going to have various up-to-date information. We keep a virtual book display here since we're not really able to have open book display or physical book displays here in the library that much. And this usually has, I think this is the second one, they change about 3 to 4 months. So kind of keep a lookout for that. You can use these tabs to navigate here on the left. And also you'll see these buttons here and these tabs here that will take you to different locations. And a lot of these buttons will take you to the same place as the tabs. It's just we wanted to make sure there was multiple ways that you might encounter things that you're looking for. Over here, we have links for the librarian chat, as well as phone numbers and email for our location specifically. And then we keep our service hours here as well. The library is currently open for physical services, but you do have to make an appointment. It's by appointment only. So to do that, you would go to this click to make an appointment link. And then from here, you would select what service you're looking for. So if you want research help from a librarian or citation help, that's going to be located here. And then you would select this and pick your date and time. And then also, we have the service desks where you'd make your student IDs. You would, if you wanted to print out something from a computer or you just want a computer access, that would be the service desk. And then all the various tutoring is housed here in the library as well. So that's how you would access all of that. Okay, scrolling back up, we have subject resource guides. And these are basically going to be starting places for research in a variety of different subject areas. And then we also have special topics guides. These are going to be things like skills such as citation or just particular special topics such as career research or whenever we have the One Book, One Campus going, that would be located here as well. Okay, so for our purposes, I'm going to go ahead and under subject guides, I'm going to look for the current events resource guide, this one right here. And once I select that, I'm going to hit go. And that's going to go ahead and open up this subject resource guide. Now, all of these are going to be arranged in the same manner. We use these tabs to kind of mirror the research process. So as you click through, such as get started, it's going to give you information or ideas about how to select a topic. And there's more information down here on these tabs. And it's also going to look at things like when is your due date, what citation style are you using, all that sort of stuff. On find sources, and you can see here we have a drop down so you can jump directly to these areas. But similar to on that shared page, this is going to give you access to various materials based on the subject matter. So books, database articles, and then any recommended websites we think will be useful. And I'm going to show you each of these also here in just a second. Moving down to evaluate, this is where we get into some of those tips and techniques for if you're looking at information outside the library especially, you're going to want to evaluate those sources. And so we have different questions that you'll want to ask yourself and different things to consider when you're looking at information online especially. And these other links, use your sources, is going to take you to the Writing Center website. We have a citation guide, and then this will connect you down here to various tutoring services. They have their a similar guide to ours on here as well. Okay, now under Find Sources, if we go ahead and select Databases, databases are again broken up into the various tabs here. And if I select Articles, it's going to give me a short list here of databases that are going to be good for current events type articles. Now, you can access any of these from anywhere. It's just if you're off campus, it's going to ask you for a login. I'm telling you that because as soon as I click on this, it's just going to let me in because I'm here on campus. The login is, you can either use the, I think it's 14-digit barcode on the back of your student ID, or you can use your My Lone Star login. There's a link that'll let you get in that way as well. Okay, this database is called Opposing Viewpoints, and I really like to suggest this one as a good starting place, especially for topic ideas and just kind of figuring out what's out there, simply because it's very user-friendly. So if we go to Browse Issues right here, basically, you're going to get a giant alphabetical list of all kinds of stuff that basically people argue about on the news. And this is a great place to look at various controversial topics, debate topics on a wide range of different issues. And you can see it's pretty big. I can scroll for quite some time looking through here. Sometimes it's good to kind of look through here and see how different things might be listed in multiple ways. There's sometimes multiple ways of going into various topics, or sometimes different topics are slightly more narrow versions of other ones. So you can see there are topics such as racism, race relations, racial profiling, and then there's one over here for Black Lives Matter. So all of those are going to be touching on similar issues, but slightly more focused in some cases than others. And so, like I said, it's going to be a really good place to kind of look around and see how you can focus your topic and what sort of topics are available. Okay, so if we were to select one of these, I'm going to just pick one here. Okay, on this page, it's going to give you first off an overview of the issue, kind of give you an idea of why it's something that is controversial. Then as you scroll down, it's going to let you know that there are what types of resources there are, such as academic journals, magazines, news stories, and how many of those there are for this particular topic page. The viewpoints, and those are usually going to be here at the top, those are going to be persuasive essays, and they're usually arguing some aspect of our topic or another. So those are going to be great places for you to look to kind of get an idea possibly of what some of the arguments both for your position, but also against your position. What are some of those arguments you may need to overcome that you haven't thought about? So you might see a lot of that in those viewpoint essays. For any of these, I can either select the heading to just see all of them in that category, or I can select the titles from here as well if I see one I just want to look at immediately. Okay, so from here, I can see the full text of the article. You're going to see that there are other articles that it suggests that might be similar for some reason, and also related subject areas that might be good to look at as well. It's going to give you information about the publisher right here. And I can go ahead and select that and find out lots of information, including whether or not it is peer reviewed. And you may not be familiar yet with peer review, but that is, most academic journals generally are peer reviewed, not necessarily all of them, but as far as I know, most of the ones I've encountered generally tend to be. And peer review is basically like the probably most stringent academic editorial process that papers go through. Basically, you're going to have a group of experts in that field that are recruited by the publisher. And then once someone submits an article to that journal, it's usually going to be double blind. So the person who wrote the article doesn't know who's reviewing it, and the reviewers don't know who wrote it. Those reviewers then look over the article. They go through a lot of questions, such as, have they covered all of the different possible angles? Is this something that even needs to be covered, or has it already been covered well enough? And just, looked at all sorts of different things to check over for quality. A lot of times they will usually send the article back with requests for various edits. And this process can take quite some time because eventually all of the reviewers have to give it their yes vote before it gets approved for publication. And so the good side of that is that, it goes through a lot of review. So it really helps with building authority for that particular article. The downside of that is, of course, it takes quite some time. I have published one article myself, and the entire process took about 5 years. So you can imagine if you're looking for something over an event that happened 6 months ago or even a month ago, you will have trouble finding an actual academic journal article written about that. You might have to look for articles that discuss similar subjects and then compare those with more up-to-date news stories. So that's something to think about as you look at different resource types. Okay, also here, they'll have the author listed, and you can select that to see if there's any other articles by that author. There's a citation tool here at the top, and it's going to have citations in the 3 main styles, and it also links out to various bibliographic programs. These can be great tools to kind of save you some time, but as always, remember that it is a program that generates these, so do kind of look these over, check them to make sure that what is in the citation matches what you are viewing on the screen. Okay, there's also a way to get a link here that you can plug into a D2L conversation so that they'll be able to see the article. And you can also save it either to something like a Google Drive, a OneDrive, or you can email the article to yourself, as well as download it or print them out. And it's a really good idea as you go to keep track of articles. There's nothing more annoying than getting to your work site and realizing that you don't actually remember where something you quoted came from. Now, if you search through those browse issues and you didn't quite find anything for what you're looking for, there is an advanced search right here next to the search bar. And that will take you to a more traditional search interface that you're probably used to seeing. So I can go in here and let's say I want to trying to think of something that might not pop up. Let's say fusion power. And when I search for that, again, it's going to break up the results like we saw before into the various resource types to let me know how many things popped up. If there is actually a page on it, it will tell you that as well if it's something that you missed when you're looking through all that. But you can see they pretty much organize things very well for you in these search results. Okay, so if there's no question on this database, I want to move to another one real quick. Go ahead and click back over here on this tab. And next I want to look at Academic Search Complete, this one listed right here. Now, as you're working through a lot of these databases, you're going to be, research tends to be kind of circular in a way. As you research something, you learn more about the topic, which allows you to refine your research even more. As you go, you're going to want to pick up various phrases, various keywords that you find are important to your topic to use for when you get to search engine or databases more like this. This database has a lot of information, but it can be kind of intimidating when you first look at it because all it's giving you is this very basic search bar and not giving you much direction beyond that. But if you have some keywords that you've built up from background research, you'll find that you can very quickly find some very good information in databases such as this. So I go ahead and say start with advanced search. That's going to give us a lot more tools to play around with here. And you would begin with the most, probably the broadest aspect of your topic. Let's say if you want to focus on something in education, just to kind of give yourself an idea of what's available. So you can see this particular topic, there's quite a number of results popping up. And sometimes when you type in a topic, it could give you a few thousand, a few hundred, but it's not uncommon to get a vast number. And so this is why it's important to really think about those keywords, think about how you want to focus your topic as you learn more about what it is you're looking into. Because the more keywords you have, the easier this will be to narrow down. Places to look may be your thesis statement. Let's say you wanted to focus on education and biology. Other things you could look at is something like age group. So let's say you want to look at teenagers. And then I can add additional terms if I need to right here. And another way you could look at this is geographic. So let's say I wanted to focus on United States or even Texas. I could plug one of those in. And then you can see in very different ways, each one of these is allowing us to narrow down our search results. So when I search again, it's vastly broken down to 149 from the 2.3 million that we started with. Now, there are other tips and tricks you can use up here to kind of help refine your searches even closer. So you can see right now, these drop downs, it defaults to and, but you actually have options for and or and not. Each one of these are what is known as a Boolean term, and these act as commands within the database. They also act oftentimes as commands within search engines as well. So it defaults to and, so it's looking for any articles that have all of these terms in them. But sometimes, like I was saying before, there may be more than one way of saying the same thing. So you want to make sure you've covered all your bases. So not only can I add these here, but I can also type them into the bar as well. So in this case, if I want to say teenagers or adolescents, you can see it tries to help you with some of these as well. But basically, each one of these is just going to be a different way of saying the same term, the same idea. And this way, it's going to look for articles that have all three of these terms and then any one of these terms here as well. Now, or statements will increase your results, but it's, again, you're covering all your bases by doing this. Okay, another good tactic is if you have something that acts as a phrase, you can go ahead and put that in quotations. And the reason you may want to do that is a lot of times if there is an empty space, there's kind of an assumed and in there, which means it might be looking for United and the word states, but looking for them separately. So they may be in an article, but not necessarily together. And in this case, we definitely want it to refer to the United States as a phrase. And so basically, it's going to look for any instance where these two items are together in an article. So I'm going to go ahead and search again. And that narrowed it back down some more there. Okay, now there's going to be other tools here on the left-hand side that we can use to refine our search a little bit more. This first one, this checkbox that says full text, databases often act as an index of various articles that are available. So while you're seeing a lot of full text here, there probably will be results that are not in full text that you would have to request from another library. So I can check this, and it's going to restrict my results to just those that I have immediate full text access to. Okay, again, as before, I can say that I only want to look at peer-reviewed journal articles, and this will sift out anything that isn't from that type of publication. And then right now I have articles going back to 1996, but I'm really wanting to look at current events. So I'm going to change this to 2010 and hit enter, and that will go ahead and restrict it to the last 10 years of information. So again, we're getting much closer here, and we'd probably already be closer because like this is definitely not very nuanced of a topic. I would probably want to go ahead and narrow that down even more for a serious research question. But just as an example, if we scroll down, you'll see subject here. And I can hit show more right here. And just like the books on the shelves that we arrange by subject, they apply subject tags to all of these articles. So I could look through these, find anything that I think may apply to what it is I'm looking for. And when I select that and hit update, it'll go ahead and only give me results that have those subject terms. So that's another tool that they offer here that could be useful in narrowing down searches. Now next, once we get it down to a manageable number, you'll want to sift through the various articles to see if anything really pops out at you, especially if you're having trouble finding things that seem to fit. If you happen to find one amongst everything that pops up, you can find some information within that article that might help you refine your searches even more. So let's say we want to look at number 4 here. Okay, for starters, again, it's going to tell us information about where it was published, the authors, and the source. Once again, I can select this to find out more information about the publication, including whether it's peer-reviewed. Also here, you're going to see the subject terms listed for the article. Now, each of these acts as a link. You can use this to find other articles with that same subject term, but more importantly, I can use these and kind of compare them to the search terms I'm using. And since these are much more precise than keywords I may have come up with on my own, I could kind of mix and match or use some of these for search terms if I find something that is similar but much more accurate to what I'm looking for, and that can help you refine your searches more. When I scroll down, I'm also going to find labeled as an abstract as a summary of the article. And again, some of these articles can be, especially academic ones, they can be 30 to 50 pages long. And so you definitely want to take a look at the summary to make sure if it's going to be worth your time to delve into that, to make sure it's going to actually be of assistance to your research. At that point, if you like everything you see, again, like I said before, you're going to want to keep track of the article. So here on the right-hand side, we have a few options. You can go ahead and save it to a Google Drive. I can email the article to myself here, and I can include a citation along with that. There is another just cite feature here, and it has several different styles available. And then once again, there is a permalink right here, and I can use this to grab this link and put it into a D2L conversation. Okay, and then once again, the full text is going to be here on the left. I can go ahead and open that up to actually view the original text of the article. Okay, let me go ahead and I'm going to close a couple of these windows here. And I also want to let you know that we have lists of recommended websites. And I remember I mentioned this before, but these are usually going to be sites that we feel have some sort of information that is going to be helpful to this topic area that is outside of our database subscriptions. So on this tab here, we're going to have several different sites are going to have various demographics, statistical information on a variety of different subjects. Just to kind of give you an idea, if we select this one, Our World in Data. Okay, this one is going to give you lots of data visualizations, various charts and graphs. And they have quite a bit that we can look through here in terms of topic selection. And so each one is going to basically have a description of the data and then a visualization of that. And then you can go ahead and download these visualizations to use in various presentations. There is also tools that we can connect you to. If you have your own raw data and you want to create your own graph or chart, we can connect you with that as well. This one's CA World Factbook. This one's going to be great if you're looking at information about various countries in the world. I can go in here, select one, and it's going to give me all kinds of in-depth information about that particular locale. And we have tons of various websites like this that we've collected. So if there's something that you're not seeing here that you're wondering if there is some sort of official data out there for, definitely let us know, and we can definitely look that up for you. We also link to fact-checking websites. You'll probably be familiar with or recognize some of these, but we wanted to make those available to you as well.